What's up, guys, and welcome to the first ever video on this channel. My name is Nautilus, and welcome to Fallout Shelter. This game came out just recently, about a few days ago, on iOS, and it'll be coming out for Android supposedly within a few months, probably next month, according to some Twitter posts from Todd Howard and some other people from Bethesda. Now, what you're seeing here on the screen is currently the game itself. I am playing it on my iPad, and I'm gonna review the game real quick, just on some things that I've noticed. The game runs with three main resources. That's water, electricity, and food. And I guess you could also count the vault dwellers themselves as their own resource too, because you need vault dwellers to collect the resources from the buildings, and you can also use them and send them out. We'll go back to that. Water you get from using a water purification plant, and over time you'll collect resources. You'll collect things like water, and you also have your own electricity room that you can also use to collect, and you have a diner which you can upgrade. These are all upgradable. And another thing is the people. Now, the way you get people in this game is kind of unique compared to other games. Is you can either get them by building a radio station, and over time the radio station will call people over from the wasteland, or you can put them in the living quarters, which is basically, if the more living quarters and the bigger they are, the more people you can have in your vault. And you can put a male and a female in your living quarter. I haven't tried putting more than two, but you put male and a female, and after a while, they'll get jiggy with it, and the female they'll eventually go to the back room. They'll handle their business, and then all of a sudden you got lady knocked up. And after a while, I think it's about a few hours in real time, you don't have to be playing. You can close it out and do whatever you have to do. And then, well, by the way, that's the cool thing about the game, is it's like other games on the iOS, you don't have to be playing the game in order to have the timers tick. It plays by itself. And after a few in-game hours, you have a child, and then the child, and after about a few hours, it grows up and becomes another vault dweller that you can use and utilize in other different types of rooms. Next, we have the items, such as we got the weapons. They range from all different types of weapons in the game, such as everything from a .32 pistol to a hunting rifle, all the way up to a fat man, and everything in between. And you can give these to everyone in your vault, or if you send someone out to explore, you can give them weapons, and the better their weapon, the better they have to survive, and we'll get back to that. One thing I found out that was really useful is you give them to practically everyone in the vault if you have a good amount of them, or at least just one weapon per room. And whenever you have things like that, very useful. Then you got armor. You can equip armor to everyone in your vault and outside your vault that you send out. And the armor has a variety of uses. You can every armor has a specific special stat, strength, perception, charisma, endurance, and every room has a corresponding special skill that increases it. So what you do is you want to utilize first off, you want to have the person with the best special stat in their corresponding room. So, for example, the factory that makes your electricity uses strength. So you would put someone in the power generator with a good strength, or if you're cut out with someone who doesn't have a good strength, you would get armor that has a strength boost on it, such as +2, and you would equip that with anyone, and all of a sudden now you have someone who's pretty useful with strength. And I'm not exactly sure what the bonuses do. And what you're seeing on the screen now is some vault dwellers fight some rad roaches. We'll get back to that. But now I'm not exactly sure how the special system works. I think it lowers the time it takes in between, or I think it has something to do with the amount of experience and caps you gain. I'll have to do some more research on that, or someone will have to do some research for me, and we'll get back to that. Next, we have the exploring system. The exploring system is pretty interesting because you can send practically anyone. All you have to do is just pick some person, preferably someone with high special stats, and you would basically drag them out of the vault, just drag them out into the wasteland, and then a menu will pop up and it'll ask you if you want what armor and what weapons you want to give them, and how many stim packs and how many radaways. And obviously the better the armor, the better the weapon, the better their stats. Also level, taking into account some little things. The higher all of that, the better chance they have of surviving. And you can have them out for 5-6 hours and recall them back. I usually give them, with the point of the game I'm at now, I usually give them about 10 stim packs and then send them out with a few ride-aways, some good decent armor, and I keep them out there for like 6-7 hours, and then just recall them back, and then put the game down, play some other games, and now all of a sudden I have a good boost of caps and a good boost of other items, and send them back out on their way. One interesting thing that I found out is if your explorer dies, you can actually revive them with caps. So it's kind of cheating, kind of not really. It's kind of it's kind of easy. Makes the game a lot easier. It really lessens the reward. I don't know if there's a limit on how many times you can revive them, but from my experience, I've only had one die on me, and I just revived him with just like 200 caps, and it was like not expensive at all. So that's kind of weird. They'll probably change that in the future patches. Then you have the what I like to call like the random encounters. You sometimes throughout the game, just like how in the real games, sometimes you'll either get raiders attack your vault, and one way of kind of prolonging them as you set up your defenses, and that's by dragging people into the vault room. You can have a maximum of 2, or I think you get more the more you upgrade it, and that increases the vault store health, which prolongs them from coming in, and then that can give you time to send your best people over there to defend it, and they drop caps and some experience. And then you have random things such as room fires, which of course cause a fire in the room, damages everyone inside, and better their stats, better their armor, the better they get through with it. And if it lingers long enough, then it spreads to other rooms, and now you have a pretty big problem. And then the third random encounter that I've encountered, which I think is the last one, is the rad roaches. Rad roaches will just occasionally dig up from the ground, and they'll just start attacking everyone. Again, better their armor, better their weapons, the quicker you get rid of them, and obviously the more people shooting at them. Obviously, one thing that doesn't really make sense to me is I have a fat man in one of my rooms, and not a fat guy, but the gun, and apparently these rad roaches are pretty fucking tougher than deathclaws, and it took about a few shots from the fat man to kill him. I don't know if it's just like an actual damage thing or if it's just time. It was weird. It was really weird seeing a rad roach take 3 fat men nukes to the face and just kind of bite the guy in the mouth, but whatever. Next we have lunchboxes and achievements. Now, throughout the game, if you press on the Pip-Boy on the bottom right corner and you click a little metal thing, you are going to find the achievements and the little goals they set for you, 3 at a time. And throughout the game, it's very beneficial to do all of the goals that you see at the time. Like, just try and get them done, because the camp bonus is very excellent, especially in the early game. And in the early game, you'll have a few chances to get lunchboxes. I think you're capped at 3, and then from that point on, all you get is caps. And it's very beneficial to get those lunchboxes early on, because sometimes you can get either from 500 caps to the different resources bonuses, or you can get very rare. You're always guaranteed at least a rare, which is the blue light, or you're guaranteed what I like to call an ultra rare, which is the gold light, and that ranges from special vault dwellers like Dr. Lee from Fallout 3 in Rivet City, or to special weapons like the minigun or missile launchers or the Fat Man, to power armor that you can give out, and I managed to get lucky enough on all 3 of mine to get power armor, a fat man, and I think a minigun was what I got. And I gave that to one of my explorers, and he's out doing his thing. And so, basically, the kind of feel I got from this overall impression of the game was that it's very... I like to think this game is actually kind of very addicting, but not really, because I'm just a huge Fallout fanboy. But this game, from just... if I wasn't... the game was is very well made for just being, you know, it's just kind of like a side project for Bethesda, because everything is free. This isn't, and the only microtransaction in this game, which is surprising, is just the lunch boxes, and they don't really do much. Like you could play the entire game without it. They just, you know, they just give you the early boost. So this game is very fun. They definitely put the time and effort into it, and they definitely kept the microtransactions to a minimum. So if you're a microtransaction addict, all you'll really be buying is lunch boxes. That's it. Like, there's nothing else. There's no pay-to-win system other than lunch boxes, which is great. No multiplayer, which is kind of to be expected from a Fallout game. But overall, this is a very, very well-made game. I enjoy it, and I'll probably be enjoying it for a long time coming. I would definitely recommend, if you have an iPhone or something on the iOS, definitely get it. And to the Android users, I'm sorry, I have an Android phone, and I was kind of disappointed that it's not on my phone. But I lucked out and had an iPad ready. But to you Android guys, just hold out. It'll come to you eventually. And speaking away from the game, I wanted to speak more of the channel itself. Pretty much the future of this channel is going to consist of mainly just reviews like this one of, not like this one for apps on the iPad, unless, you know, you guys ask for it. But it's mainly going to consist of things like Fallout 4. That's definitely going to be on this channel. I'm going to be doing playthroughs immediately. I'll do an unboxing of the Collector's Edition. I already have that coming. Definitely going to be doing Star Wars stuff. Probably a Star Wars movie review if that's asked for. Definitely going to be playing Battlefront 3. That is definitely on my to-do list. Probably Doom. That's another big one. And a whole bunch of other games as they come out. I'll definitely be putting all of those on my channel. But what I want to do with this one is differently than what other people do. I want to get the audience more involved with what goes on. I want you guys to, you know, to dictate what actually goes on and what happens. So what I'll do occasionally is I'll ask you guys to take a vote on what games you guys want to see, and I'll make it go ahead and do it to the best and edit it as well as I can. You know, keep out the boring parts if you want, or just keep the whole thing going. Mod reviews if you guys want me to do that. I'll also be doing a complete playthrough of Fallout 3 in New Vegas before Fallout 4 comes out. Completely modded just for beautification purposes and all this stuff, because I want to be doing that again, so I might as well bring you guys along for the ride. But yeah, I want you guys to, you know, occasionally I'll ask you guys, hey, you know, what do you guys want to see? You know, do you guys want to see Battlefront 3, or do you want to see Fallout 4? Do you want to see a review on this or a review on that? What do you guys want to do? And I'll put a vote on somewhere. I'll let you guys know where. And down the line, you know, as I gain more audience and the audience increases in size, you guys will actually have a say in what you guys see and what you guys will do. I'll ask for clips, or I'll ask for submissions, or, you know, all this kind of stuff. But I mainly want to have a community that they don't just watch. They actually dictate, and they have a say in what they want to watch. This isn't going to happen all the time, because granted, not everyone wants to see all this other stuff. Some people just want to see what I put out. But occasionally, I will ask you guys, you know, sometimes if I just don't have any ideas, or if I just want to see what you guys want, I'm definitely going to read the comments of every video. Gonna see what you guys post on social media sites when I decide to put those up. And I'm definitely going to see what you guys just want to see. And I'm going to listen to you guys, and we're going to go from there. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about was specifically what type of content I'd be putting out. I told myself when I first made this that I would be doing something along the lines of reviews, sometimes depending if the situation calls for it, or things like mainly playthroughs, but that's what I told myself. Granted, some of you guys may not want to see that, some of you guys may want to see that. I don't know everyone's opinion. Everyone has something different. So depending on what the majority wants, and sometimes I'll do what the minority wants, we'll see what happens. So just let me know in the comments what you guys want to see in the future of this channel. Probably starting off, I'll either start with my Fallout 3 run through, or I'll probably put a little bit of this game and like tips and things, and we'll see what happens. This is really just a hobby of mine, and I felt like you guys, I like to do this, and I want to connect with an audience, and you guys are it. Real quick though, some tips for this game. If you guys do decide, obviously you're gonna decide this game is great. When you guys get this game, and I know you will, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this. When you guys decide this game, let me give you guys some quick tips before you majorly fuck up and then you have to go back, and no one wants to do that. So some tips is definitely one thing I learned that kind of saves you on the micromanaging is if you have more than one explorer out in the wastes, send them all out at the same time. That is something that saves you a hell of a lot of time on micromanaging. So like what I usually do is since I have about 4 or 5 people out in the waste that like I can actually send out there, have good armor, good weapons, and enough stim packs, what I usually do is I have all of them just kind of sitting around the vault, and so I'm ready to use them. And then when I'm ready to use them, I send them all out right after the other, and they're all out, and they all have their their stim packs. I recommend, if you have the number for it, I would recommend like 5 or 6 stim packs, depending on how long. I have enough for 10 each. And then just send them all out at the same time, and then I usually have them out for 5-6 hours, sometimes longer depending on the day. And then at the same time I just recall them all back, and they all come back at the same time, and all of a sudden I have a huge boost in caps, items, and they all leveled up. And then just I don't have to micromanage one person coming back, and then 10 minutes later another person comes back, and another minute, and then 5 minutes later. That's exhausting, and no one wants to do that. So it's better just to send them all out. That way you just have to go on the game one time, because not everyone has time for this game all day. So it's better just to go on this one time, send them all out, give them their stuff, put the game down, enjoy some porn or whatever the fuck it is you guys do. Come back a few hours later, collect all your shit, send them back out, and go back to your porn. Whatever you guys do. Videos, whatever. And that's it. And it saves you a hell of a lot of time micromanagement, and it's a lot easier for everyone, unless you like to micromanage, in which case, hey dude, just fucking send them out at random times. Fucking, you keep track of that shit. You fucking impressive. Next thing, something I picked up, and this is just straight personal preference, it's really just kind of aesthetics, really doesn't really do anything beneficial, is I dedicate entire floors to one specific or 2 specific things. So I didn't do it in this video, but what I learned, because you'll see in this video that I have my vault door, and then I have an elevator, and then I have a living room, and then a water plant, and then I have another living room in the 2nd floor, and then a diner, and then the factory. And it's just, it's all over the place. Something I learned recently that I just kind of started doing was I put just living rooms on the 1st floor, and I made like a few big living rooms. And the 2nd floor, I have my diner on one side, and then I have my water plant on the other. And then on the 3rd floor, on one side is I have my factory, or my electricity plant, my power generator, and then on the other side, I'll have probably the miscellaneous stuff. So I'll leave a space for like the med bay, and then I'll have my storage room, and then I have the science lab and things like that. Or something that I was planning on doing recently was just build more elevators down, and then have science lab and med bay on either side, and then go down another floor and have storage and something else, and then make another floor and put that down. Those are just some tips starting out. Again, thank you guys for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe, and thanks for watching, guys. Be back again.